Earthlings, and welcome to your weekly dose of newsy infotainment. It's Let's Be Treasonable, coming to you from the luxurious studios of Radio Titans in Los Angeles, freshly Febrezed for your convenience. With your cognitive dissidents on the panel this week, comedian, raconteur, juggler, Mr. Jim Coughlin.
Hello.
Hello, good to have you back, Jim. Thanks for coming in. Joining us on the panel as well, author, performance artist, and Resistrix, Erika Schickel.
Hi, everybody.
And soon to no longer be among the homeowners.
I'm selling a house. Yes, I am. I'm in the 1%.
Gonna be.
Soon to be in the 1%. Right now, down at the bottom, but coming up fast, people.
We'll see how this changes the tenor of the show.
Hoping to be homeless.
Aspiring homeless.
Is aspiring homeless, exactly.
And, of course, comedian, bon vivant, and always the black voice of reason, Mr. Tymon Shipp.
Power to the people. Hey, let's run over some more Nazis. That's okay.
At this point, we don't know if it's the Nazis that were run over or if it was good Americans. But we will be talking about that in just a moment as we go into the studio to record today. There are protests and a big Nazi rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, where we just got news that someone ran a car into a crowd of protesters, although the article did not specify which side they were on, what they were protesting for or against. I, of course, am Dr. David Robinson, your Vin Scully for the impending apocalypse, and Jew who's too smart to be able to be replaced, or to replace white supremacists. They're
Way
chanting.
To stick the intro, Bob.
Well, you know, it's the whole concept of Nazis chanting, "We won't be replaced by Jews." Of course not. We're not all going to get lobotomies.
It's so ridiculous. It's so without any logical merit at all that it's incredible. What do you think? Do you feel like you would? I'm divided. I want the person who drove the car to be have driven them into the Nazis, but at the same time, I don't want to be affiliated with somebody who would drive a car into a crowd. Where are we on that?
Well, this part of we personally, as a big fan of the Blues Brothers.
I knew there was going to be a Blues Brothers segue in here somehow.
I mean, you know, that whole scene. I hate Illinois Nazis, and then he drives into the crowd. So if that is the case, well, I do not advocate violence. Nazis, these superior examples of the white race, they just need to learn to jump higher and faster. If on the other hand, the car was rammed into people protesting against the Nazis, the driver is an animal who must be imprisoned.
Yes, thank you. That's what I thought. I just was checking.
Yeah, no.
These are complicated times.
I will proudly wave the flag of double standards on this one because, well, I do not think violence is the answer. As I have said on this show many times, good Americans punch Nazis.
Yeah, fuck those guys, I think is another way to say it.
Well, yeah, but I do want to say that if you are going to commit violence, I feel like those old Frosted Mini Wheats commercials. The sweet side of me says, just use your fists. The wheat side of me says, if you got a car,
run them over.
Take them for all they're worth. I think it's, of course, not surprising, but still astounding that it took the president so long to tweet in opposition to just general hate. He wasn't specific about the Nazis. So of
because
course,
that's his base. Why would he do that?
Exactly.
But I heard that was it Ivanka came out with a tweet? Oh, now I'm
on
just
Shabbos, she's tweeting.
You're right.
Ashonda.
That is a Shonda. Wait, she knows Shonda? Because I didn't know that she was hanging out with Shonda Rhimes. All right. So I think it wasn't. I think it was it. Yeah, somebody in the family has taken some better form of responsibility for that, but I don't know. It all went by.
I think, as I was saying to Eric outside, I think that more whites should come out and speak on this because
absolutely,
because this is now, you're actually bringing history back. If you
and
don't
not the
want
good parts of
no,
history.
no, and you keep saying, "Well, we weren't in it. We didn't do it." Well, guess what? They can blend right back in with you, and you end up getting stuck with them.
Well, and also
Yeah.
every time there is any sort of Islamic extremist attack anywhere in the world, you see the people on the right jumping up to say, well, if the Muslims in America are good, why aren't they condemning this act? Even as they are condemning the act.
Yeah.
But turnabout is fair play. If you expect every Muslim to stand up and issue their own personal mea culpa, even though they're not involved in any of the organizations that provided this attack. If you think they should stand up and apologize, then every one of you cracker-ass Republican motherfuckers need to stand up and condemn the white people and the white Christians who are perpetrating violence and abusing the First Amendment.
And what
It's
I don't
pretty simple.
understand is these people have absolutely no sense of history. I mean, their grandfathers fought in World War II. I mean, or their fathers in some cases. I mean,
they could
this
never
is
understand
a
it.
recent American history. This is what our country came out and stood up and fought against, just moments ago in the arc of history. Right. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, we don't know that for sure. They could be like a fifth-generation draft dodger. I mean,
right. I'm just saying, statistically speaking, everywhere. Yes, cowardice.
I mean, he said at
rampant.
Trump said at one of his little rallies, "Yeah, punch him, kill." And what that old guy do? He decked that that one brother. And it's like, well, I didn't push for violence. Yes, you did. Because you raised up. This is like you brought these cockroaches out. The light came on, and the cockroaches start scattering. They come out. So you brought these guys back, and you need to, they need to. I mean, as far as white people everywhere. If you don't want people to think you're a racist, and I'm not with them, then damn it, step out there and say something. And it's like, hey, and so you don't have to say, well, I got black friends. Well, I catch the bus with a black man every day. I'm not a racist.
But can we just take a moment from this very serious matter to just wallow in the hilarity of the angry mob with the Pier 1 Polynesian tiki torches? I mean, and racism now smells like citronella. If you smell citronella, a light lemony refreshing scent, and you're a black man, run!
They couldn't make a good torch.
Yeah, if they were a manly men.
Who fucking forgot how to wrap a rag around a tree limb and soak it in gasoline, for God's sakes? It's not that hard.
You can't make a real torch. What kind of goddamn
pussies are you down there in the
Connor, where are you getting your torches from?
Yeah.
I bought a
Oh my
six-pack.
God! I have an Etsy shop for torches. I do handcrafted, hand rubbed with beeswax and oils.
Who embroidered your clan robes? These are amazing. Etsy for racists. I think it's a whole new cottage industry.
I had at my
Hand-sewn
job.
hoods.
I had at my job a white kid. He was a redhead kid. He was a homosexual white supremacist with a swastika right on his forehead. I said, dude, he said, I don't like your kind feeding me. I said, you should like me feeding you because I'll feed your ass to the, once these guys down here, find out that you're gay or find out that I'll turn you over to the black gorilla family right down the hall. What the fuck? Hey, thank you, sir. Yeah,
Well,
thank you.
you
Have
may
a nice day.
you may not like his politics, but you can be sure that his clan robe has a very high thread count and a nice hand.
He should live long enough to be buried in it. We will get back to racism in Virginia in just a moment. But one of the other big stories, of course, to hit the news this week was our near aversion of death by nuclear fire and fury. And here to talk a bit more on that is our dear friend, our invisible fifth panelist, 5-time Emmy nominee, comedian, raconteur, and currently appearing every Tuesday at the Marsh, San Francisco. You can get that information on willdurst.com because, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for a Burst of Durst with Will Durst.
Hey guys, Will Durst here with a few choice words on the new missile crisis currently and clumsily unfolding between us and North Korea. A confrontation that could too easily spiral into World War III. Reportedly, President Donald Trump improvised his response that if North Korea didn't stop its threatening behavior, they would suffer fire and fury like the world has never seen, in an amplification of the war of hyperbole with Kim Jong-un. Apparently, the president wants everyone to believe he's the sort of guy who would go to war because someone looked at him funny. And you got to admit, at that, he's been fairly successful. We're back to the age-old question, how do you negotiate with a madman who screams, "Your nation will swim in a sea of eyeballs"? Well, this time around, that's our guy. What we don't know is if Trump is responding to the chubby Korean kid's demonstration of an intercontinental ballistic missile that could hit the East Coast, or if, once again, he's trying to distract us from the Russian noose tightening around his neck. After all, he does love his bright, shiny objects, and the total annihilation of the species is about as shiny as they get. One thing we can be assured is if there is a nuclear war, it will be the greatest nuclear war in history, and the last. As Einstein said, World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. Meanwhile, the entire planet holds its breath as two immature children masquerading as leaders play a game of thermonuclear chicken on a chessboard with 7 billion pawns. Quick, someone find a queen, hopefully with dragons. The only silver lining in this ever-darkening cloud is that prices for package vacation tours to Guam are going for a song. Let's just hope that song isn't The Eve of Destruction. For Let's Be Treasonable, I'm Will Durst.
Thank you, Will.
All right, Will Durst.
Bravo. So, yeah, as someone who, grew up in the 80s, we're all around the same age, Gen X and cuspers. And so we lived through the tail end of the Cold War and the threat of nuclear annihilation under Reagan in the 80s. I got to say, it was better then. It was better. There was more suspense,
We got that awesome movie of the week out of it.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Well,
I talked about this on the show
I wasn't
before.
allowed to watch The Day After.
The day after, yeah. I was in college.
Lawrence, Kansas got nuked, and my parents apparently didn't want me to celebrate the nuking of Kansas at such an early age. They waited to send me to the University of Missouri before I developed that sense.
Yeah.
But no, I realize I was a kid in the 80s, so I may not have been as attuned to what adults were thinking then as I am now. But I don't remember in the 80s that pervasive sense of resignation of people just looking at the state of the nation as it was at that time and going, yeah, you know what? Just nuke us. Let's bring it on, please. It is a preferable alternative to what's going on, and this, may I say, is just 204 days into Trump's presidency that people are like, you know what? The nukes might be the better option. Go ahead, take us out.
Yeah.
Well, when he is unwilling to say that he won't strike preemptively, then what is the moral problem with North Korea preemptively striking us?
It's the same thing as the moral problem that allows Christians on the right to do things that are horrible in the name of their God, whereas when Muslims do horrible things in the name of their God, totally different ballgame.
I mean, all of this is so apropos of almost nothing. I mean, there is no new threat from North Korea as of last week. It's the same old.
Well, it is the same old threat, but we do have the intelligence saying that they're advancing.
No, they are advancing.
They have miniaturized nuclear weapons.
But they have miniaturized nuclear weapons.